HR are normally understand
Very
this.
honestly, yeah.
HR of game companies are who don't know anything about game development.
Because see, there are referral bonuses in company. They'll be more than glad to refer you.
What is up, people? A lot of you who are programmers have been asking me, Rahul, can you please make us a video in which you give us guidance about game programming, how to get a job in game programming, and also how to crack the interviews and tests. So in Gamer to Maker, we have a tradition of Alumni Night. So this is where once or twice a month, one of the people who are from the G2M program, who are in the game industry, they come back and then they come on a Zoom call and they share their knowledge, how the interviews were done, how the selection process was, what the job is like. They actually guide the students of Gamer to Maker to actually get a job and understand the entire process. This is an interview we have, and this is one with Sanjay, who is Unreal and Unity programmer who's from Gamer to Maker, and he really explains the entire process of how you can get a job in the game industry as a programmer, whether it's Unreal or Unity. He explains the entire process of selection and a lot more. This will be really helpful to you to actually understand how to get selected as a game programmer. This is an internal class which is held on a Zoom call, which is why the video quality is not that great, so do excuse it. And if you want any more content like this, do let me know in the comments. Also, do not forget to follow me on Instagram and do join the Gamer to Maker server if you want to get in touch with me directly or learn from the community. So let's go.
To welcome Sanjay Satish Krishna, who is a game programmer at Ixie Games, right?
Yes, sir.
Bangalore. Okay, so let's get started. Everyone, please give a big welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And he has a job. He works how many? 5 days a week, right? Or 6 days a
Yeah,
week?
5 days. 5 days.
Yeah, he works 5 days a
Thankfully.
week. Right? He works 5 days a week, and it's so good for him to take time to come and attend this class. And so what we'll do is now, Sanjay, tell us about a little about the company where you work right now, and the role that you do.
So, hi guys, I'm Sanjay. So, my role at Ixie Gaming, my role is a Unity game developer, although I'm working on Unreal right now, but that's the role name. So, the company Ixie is a child company, you can call it as a child company of a software company called Indium Software. So it's an MNC based in California, and they have a gaming department here in India. So they have locations in Hyderabad. They used to have locations in Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Chennai. So the gaming has moved entirely to Bangalore right now. It's a great company with 650 plus members only for in the gaming department. So it's a service-based company, and they have great clients. I'm not sure if I can name the clients. I'm still not sure about that NDA part. But pretty huge clients, you can say. Yes. So that is about Ixie. I have 2 years of experience making games, programming games, and this is my 3rd year.
And that includes a G2M?
Yeah, that includes G2M.
Right.
So my interest started there, but it grew crazy back in 2020. You know, we all got to sit at home. We had device with us. It was still a fight at home regarding if I should make a career in that, but my dad got a friend. He was in a biker group, so that person luckily was a game developer in Zynga, and that's when my dad was convinced that you can make good money in the game industry and it has a good future. So my family accepted me taking this path as a career, and in 2022 I joined G2M as for the game programming mentorship course, and thanks to sir and thanks to Adi for taking me in his team. I got great exposure and experience making Unreal Engine game, because Unity I mean that's also a great engine, but I had zero experience in Unreal, and I got to learn a lot from Adi. He took personal time to teach me blueprints and everything. It more than blueprints, you actually get to learn how the game making works, because there is a particular flow irrespective of the engine you use. You have to follow a particular method to program the game. So that was one thing very important that I got to learn from Adi. Then 1 year I had worked for a startup after that in Hyderabad.
Sorry to interrupt. So basically, you right now you're using Unreal, right, in your work?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
And you for Unreal, you're using Blueprint or doing C++ programming?
C++.
Oh, you're doing C++ programming. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So I learned C++ pretty much on my own. Like I was also a part of another institute along with G2M. Couldn't learn much from there. Just use the certificate. To be honest, didn't come much in use. But there are certain YouTube channels that taught me C++ very well, and most of it is also just reverse engineering. You write something in blueprints and try to make sense of that into C++.
Right.
So that 1 year in Hyderabad, the startup that I worked in, it gave me good exposure to hyper casual games because they were mostly into hyper casual games and Unity. So I got to learn good things in that. The only issue I could say is with startups, sometimes because of their cash flow, there might be delays in the payment. Those kind of issues.
Right. Right.
But
that's usually what happens in startups, right? Because it's usually the founder's money or somebody's releasing money. So you never know when you're going to get your payment. Sometimes 1 month payment is pending and then you get 2 months payment together. So it's a normal thing.
That's the issue. And my family is not at a financial point where we could forego the 1 or 2 months because it was kind of dependent on me. So that was one of the major reason that I had to move away from that company to where I'm working right now. It's a pretty big place and you don't have to worry about that. But the issue that I had faced was I did not focus on one particular engine, because of which I had to hop from a startup Unity to this. If I had actually focused properly on a single engine, I might have actually landed in a bigger place initially without having to worrying anything about money or the startup. So that was one thing that I wanted to mainly say. Yeah.
So given a choice, which engine would you have focused on?
Unreal Engine.
You would have focused on it. That's very interesting because my opinion was that the Unity is the more prevalent engine in India. But
it is.
Why would you choose Unreal though?
For multiple reasons. There are many studios outside who are willing to offer remote jobs, but they are not exactly asking for game programming experience. They are specifically asking for Unreal Engine experience, because even if they're using their in-house engine, like let's say the name, the Spider-Man game studio, they use C++, but in their requirement they're asking for Unreal Engine experience because any other engine out there is based out of Unreal Engine, or they just work with C++. Insomniac, yes.
Insomniac, right.
So they work with C++. The main purpose of them asking for Unreal Engine is so that you have an idea how it works, so that you don't take much time to figure out how their engine works.
Right.
So there are many studios outside that offer remote jobs. There are pretty good studios in India also, although they ask for 4-5 years of experience. But if you know someone inside the studio, if they're able to recommend you to the junior most position, that is still a good entry you have to take, because the brand matters too sometimes.
Right. Also, like, I think if they want 4 years experience, but your skills with 2 years experience are good enough, then it's
they do.
They're like, okay, it's fine. You're okay with 2 years experience. Also, I've heard that the salaries are quite good for Unreal. The salary is actually higher for Unreal than Unity.
It is.
Right.
That is also one of the major reasons that I was looking into Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
Like for example, just after G2M, I had actually got a job. It's not a game studio. It was a mental health company. It was a US company. So they were making virtual assistants or virtual doctors. So for the front end of it, we have to use MetaHuman in Unreal, and they have their own AI model which we have to integrate with Unreal and use facial animations. Actually, to be honest, I would have got my first job in a pretty better place. Just because I didn't know Unreal to that core, I did not learn it properly. I just knew blueprints back then, because of which I got the job, but I was not pretty sure if I could do it. So I had to actually get out of it, because it was a pretty intense work. You have to kind of procedurally animate the character based on what the AI model is speaking. It is challenging for a beginner, so that was the only issue.
Nice, nice, awesome. So now kind of tell us what you like. Give us an idea of what kind of selection process. Because when did you make a portfolio? When did you start working on your portfolio? How did you apply for these jobs? Tell us about your LinkedIn. Tell about the process. Because see, a lot of people, they don't even know. Did you apply? Did they contact you? What happened? Like, tell us about the whole process of getting even your first job.
Sure. So when back in 2022, when I was a part of this course, I also took part in many game jams. What happens is, game jams, they don't act exactly as experience, but they are a wonderful source for you to show that you actually know how to make games in a shorter span of time. So I had to display those games somewhere, and that's when I figured itch.io is a great place to display, but nothing like your own website. It adds a little more authenticity to your portfolio. So I used Wix.com to make a website of my own, and it doesn't cost much, to be honest. It costed me like 1,000 rupees to just get my .com, which is even better. It shows professionalism. So I used that. In 23, maybe around Feb or March, I had my website ready, and from Feb itself, to be honest, I started applying, but it was mostly rejections. Although I got into a startup.
So when you say applying, how exactly? Were you emailing them or submitting the form on the website?
So far, my application process, except for one company, has been only through LinkedIn. Only for EA, I had to apply it through their website.
Okay, so LinkedIn is a good way to actually apply, is it?
So far, I mean, yes, LinkedIn for games, it is, in India, it's only LinkedIn. Or yeah, of course, Indeed. Indeed is also a good place for looking at jobs, because certain jobs are only available in Indeed. So that I had, so I did not have the kind of. I'm not sure if I'll just drop my website here. You can check. You guys can check it once. So how it looks, I did not have the idea initially. So I was going through many game programmer portfolios who work at Ubisoft or Rockstar. I took inspiration from their website and did something about that. I got into a few interviews. My after G2M, I actually got around 4 or 5 offer letters, and I had to pick the best one that suited my that current condition. After that, even after that, I was a part of few not studios exactly. Those were group projects. That there are certain Discord groups like the Game Dev League or the Game Dev Network. So there, many people post ads for their group projects. They need programmers or designers. There was one studio in Sweden. They are pretty much our age. They just formed a group, and we were working on an Unreal Engine game. They are on hold right now, but anytime we come back, the game will proceed. But now I am able to add that game also into my portfolio. Anytime you apply to companies, they'll check your website and they'll see what exactly have you done in those games. I'll also explain going ahead what exactly you must do in the website. So yes, that was that. And last year I had also joined a studio in UK. It's a London-based studio. They are working on MMORPG. It's called MMORPG. It's pretty much like Destiny 2. So not the game, the type. The game is it's like Red Dead Redemption 2. So old time weapons, forest, all those things. I work as a Unreal Engine programmer over there.
Right.
So it is contract based, but I'm not getting paid anything right now. It's still.
So you were doing that work on the side.
It's side, yes.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so tell us a little bit about like the process. The first, as a programmer, you get contacted, and then what happens?
Right.
You submit your portfolio.
Yes.
Sorry, before that, I want to ask, how useful do you think your portfolio was?
Right. Even that. The to be honest, the previous company that I worked for, they didn't even ask, or I'm not even sure if they checked my website, because it's a bootstrap, not even a startup, but it's a bootstrap. So they really didn't care about that. They wanted someone, but most of the other studios that I interviewed with, they asked all of the questions regarding the projects that I had made.
Right.
So the portfolio does matter. It just depends on the company that you're applying to.
Right.
Many small time studios or companies, they don't really check that.
So just your resume would do?
Sorry?
Just your resume. Yes, your CV would
Yeah.
do for smaller companies.
Yes, just the resume does.
Okay. Right. Awesome. So tell us
So,
about the process of being hired.
Yeah. So once you actually apply to a company, they take some time to reply. So once they reply, usually there are three steps in the interview process. One is where for the programmer role, one is where they ask you questions about raw native C# or C++. Nothing related to games, nothing related to the engine. It is just mostly DSA or anything native to the program. They'll ask you questions face to face. Apart from that, you'll have to share your screen, and they'll ask you to solve certain questions, like some pattern questions or something like that. They don't expect the program to work 100%. They check how are you approaching the solution. A few studios also told me it's fine to check through Google for solutions, because what I understood was they were just seeing what are the keywords that I am giving to Google to solve the problem, how efficiently am I solving the problem. That is more what they're looking at. Obviously they won't they won't see, like, I mean, they will not tolerate if you're going to go and check for something like a for loop. Not for the basics, something complex.
Right. So
Yeah.
so basically they expect you to have basic knowledge of the code, and
Yes.
if you are looking for a solution, they see how you're looking for the solution, at what level you're looking for the solution. Because even when you're working for them also, you can definitely search for more complex solutions online.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing. I'm sure all the programmers, whenever they are stuck at a certain place, they go online and see how the other people have solved it, right? But basically, if you start looking for really basic fundamental, then they'll be like, okay, this person is really useless.
That is when they know you're screwed up.
Yeah.
So once you clear that, you get a call saying that congrats, you have passed the first round. The second round, they'll ask when are you available, and certain HRs, what they do is they also let you know the topic that you'll be tested on. And the second round is where the game engine comes in the scene. They'll ask you to open up either Unity or Unreal based on the role you're applying for. Certain companies, what they do is they just give a task and they say submit it in 7 days, or take a week. Certain companies, they just ask you to solve it in front of them. So based on the time that they give, it will vary, like the how big the task would be.
Obviously, the task that they ask you to solve in front of them will be a small task, something small.
Mostly, yes. Just that one studio actually asked me to create a multiplayer plugin and make a multiplayer browser in 4 hours.
Really?
Yeah, in Blueprint, luckily, so I did it.
Okay. Okay, that's crazy. Interesting. Cool.
Yeah. So the second round is usually regarding the engine. So make sure you know how the engine works. Again, the code, it's pretty much how you solved the previous time. They don't really expect it to work 100%, but at least the mechanic that they're asking should work. Yes, that was the second round. And once you clear the second round, the third round is just formality. The HR contacts you regarding salary negotiation. So the third round is the most important, how you negotiate your salary, because what they'll do is they'll try to squeeze the amount out of you and just keep it as low as possible. They won't underpay you, but also they'll try to save some money on their budget. So you'll have to convince them, showing your, that is where your portfolio also comes in scene. You can actually say, like, I've worked on these things, these are my skill sets, this is aligning with your company, and I'm also open to growing and learning, I'm a quick learner. You say things like that, you have chance to actually boost the given CTC a bit more.
Right. Yeah, because the big mistake that a lot of people make, and even I used to make the same mistake, is that I used to tell people I need more money because of my circumstances. Right. I have these are my bills, I have to pay my bills, I have to pay a loan. And people don't give a flying fuck about what your circumstances are. Okay, I made this mistake a lot. But the thing to remember is that they will pay you for your value, not for what you need. The worst thing you can do is tell people, I need money because I have a family, I have a loan, my parents are dependent on. They don't give a fuck about that. You have to show why you deserve that money for the work that you're going to do, the skills you have, the knowledge you have, all that kind of stuff. So never ever talk about what you need, but talk about what you offer in terms of skill and how you can help them work, make the project better, grow the company, etc., etc.
Right.
Cool. Awesome stuff, man. That's great. And so, what is it like, to be working in the game industry? Like, what differentiates, for example, a good working environment from a bad working environment? Like, give us an example of a good experience that you had or are having, and what makes it so. And give us also an example of maybe a bad situation you had in a job, a boss or colleague or something in which you did not like it.
Right. So, I mean, this might sound trivial, but currently I have Saturday, Sundays off. The previous place used to make me come on Saturdays too. So that kind of matters, to be honest. Your morale goes down.
Yeah, it's like getting 2 days off a week is a big deal,
एक तो we are underpaid, ऊपर से we have to go on Saturdays also.
Right.
So that is one difference in I won't say good or bad company, but in a smaller and bigger company, that is there a difference. Apart from that, the good and bad experience, one thing what currently it's been like 2 or 3 months since I've joined the new place, and what I can notice is my team lead and my manager, they actually know what they're doing, and they don't have unrealistic expectations, or they don't underestimate, like they don't say this is just easy, just do it, it's not a big deal. They know it's a big deal because even they made games, they have 20 years of experience, they know how it works. Funny thing, like the previous place where I worked, we have to make save system for an idle game, a tycoon game. And making save system is not easy because you'll have to keep a lot of things in consideration, because you have to save the environment things also. I was told save क्या है, dot save लिख दो हो जाएगा. Like, I get it, but I have to write what happens behind the dot save. It's not a 2-minute work. So the thing is, the bad experience was they never really understood me, and the tag kind of came out that I'm lazy, like, or I'm not working fast. The thing is, the requirement is so big that I can't finish it in a day or two. Here it's great, they understand, they're saying, take your time, it's okay, we get it. That is one of the good and bad experiences.
Right. Awesome stuff, man.
You don't really have to do a game development course, maybe, going outside spending lakhs on that. It just doesn't matter.
See, one thing I'll tell you is that for many companies, especially big companies, they are very, very bureaucratic. Okay. So for a very big company, the HR are normally understand
Very
this.
honestly, yeah.
HR of game companies are who don't know anything about game development. They come from software industry. They don't know anything about games. They apply the same standards for software development for game development. They understand fuck all about game development. So they'll have a form in which, okay, they have to onboard you right? And they'll be okay, we are onboarding you, and they have to tick the boxes. Okay, what about your graduation? Where have you done your graduation from? So you'll say, no, I haven't done graduation. So, oh, you haven't done graduation? I have to tick this box. How am I going to tick this box if you don't have your graduation? Oh, then we'll have to take special approval from head office. In that case, if you don't have graduation, the game team will say, man, show the fuck graduation. I just want this guy. He's really, really good. Just fucking get him. HR will say no, but according to the form, graduation is required. No, how we are going to accept if there's no degree? We have to. Okay, we'll get back to you. I'm going to write to the MD. The MD will have to write a special exception letter for you because you don't have graduation. All that shit will happen. So even if you done graduation from Jhumritalaya University in, gobar cow fermentation, ho gaya, that tick mark will be there, right? Graduate in gobar fermentation from Timbuktu University, no one gives a shit. Your tick mark is done and you are inside. So that is what graduation is. It's just a dumb ass rubber stamp. If you have it, it's more convenient. Understood?
Okay. Like from personal experience, I'm saying where I'm working right now, I did not apply it through LinkedIn or their website. This is where the concept of referral comes into play. Like it has super crazy power. So once you know someone on the development team, or I personally I knew the VP of the place, so they were able to recommend me. The thing is, if you know anyone on the inside apart from HR, because to be honest, they're just lazy and they won't really take the efforts to check if you know stuff or not. Find someone, if you don't know them absolutely, still it's okay to ask them, because see, there are referral bonuses in company. They'll be more than glad to refer you. Even if not, just find someone, make them friends, get your skills up, and then when you're ready, just ask them. Just show, first don't even ask them, show them your portfolio. Then ask them, do you think this is good enough for your company? If yes, they will automatically refer you. What happens is, when they refer you, these HR, although they will have to look through it, still they know that someone is referring from the inside, so they'll have to give you a chance.
Also, there's something called a referral bonus in most companies.
Yes.
So if I'm in a company and I refer Sanjay and he joins and say his basic salary is 1 lakh rupees, after 3 months, once his probation period is over, I'll get like 30% of his 1 month salary. So I get like 30,000 rupees referral bonus for referring him.
And there's nothing, you don't have to pay anything to refer me. So it's like a win-win. If I get selected, great, you'll get the money. If not, the one referring you is not losing anything. So they'll be glad to refer you. Just make sure you use LinkedIn properly, get your connections right, keep updating people on LinkedIn, so even you'll be on their radar. Anytime you ask them, they'll figure, oh yeah, I've seen your work on LinkedIn, like you keep posting, why don't I refer you? It's a faster way, to be honest, to get jobs at a decent and good studios. Yeah, so the main thing just I wanted to say is that just get your connections, like have connections within your target studio, so that anytime you have an opening, even if you don't have an opening, that's fine, but if you have an opening, do it through a referral so that you have a better chance of getting in.
Yeah, this is why I always tell you guys that remember, your batchmates and your seniors in G2M are among your biggest resource. For example, now you know Sanjay. Send him a LinkedIn request, right? Tomorrow, if you see there's a vacancy in his company, just be like, hey man, this is my resume. And if it's not good enough, he'll be like, dude, don't even apply. This is not good enough. If it's good enough, he'll be like, yeah, this is good, man. I think we could use someone, and he'll take your resume and he'll give it directly to HR. And then they have to consider you, right? Going from the outside, your chance is 10%. Going from the inside, your chance is 90%. At least you'll get an interview, right? At least you'll get an interview.
Beyond the interview, it's up to you. But interview tak jana is a very, I would say it's based on luck sometimes. You get it or you don't get it. बहुत मुश्किल होता है वो. Right,
guys. You can find Sanjay on LinkedIn. In fact, explained the whole interview process for programming so well, because see, design ka a lot of people explain it, art people, but for programming it's very rare to have someone come and explain that process of interviews and selection so well. So thank you so much for being here, Sanjay.